You may have seen headlines like these. Adobe agrees to $150 million settlement. It's a massive fine for deceptive consumer practices. But that's actually just the beginning. The real mystery lies in Adobe's financial performance. Since 2015, their revenue has skyrocketed fivefold. They are making more money than ever before. But here's the twist. Despite these record profits, their stock price has crashed 70%, hitting an 8-year low. Their market cap just dipped below $100 billion. And their CEO of 18 years, he just stepped down. What exactly is happening? And why is everyone betting against them while they're making more money than ever? Over the years, Adobe built the most dominant empire in creative software. Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, Acrobat. No one even comes close to their position. So, what is the fatal flaw hidden behind these record-breaking profits? Is the Adobe monopoly finally starting to crumble? But maintaining a monopoly required more than just great software. This is where CEO Shantanu Narayan comes in. In 2013, Adobe was about to change everything. At the time, IT outlets like PC Mag were screaming headlines like, "Adobe kills Creative Suite." Narayan was the one pushing hard to shift Adobe from a one-time purchase to a subscription-only model. He famously said, "Today, people don't just buy products. They buy ongoing experiences. We need to sell continuous value, not static software." On the surface, it looked like a win-win. Adobe products used to be incredibly expensive, around $700 per copy. The full suite cost thousands. But now, you could access all those professional tools instantly for a small monthly fee. So, what was the problem? Wasn't a monthly subscription supposed to save you money? Well, let's look at the facts. In the past, if you bought Photoshop for $700, you owned it. It wasn't a one-year rental. It was yours forever. If you wanted the latest version, you could simply upgrade for $200 whenever you felt like it. But Adobe's new subscription system didn't actually save people much money. Instead of offering two simple choices, they gave users 3 options, each one psychologically designed. The monthly plan was the most expensive. The annual plan required payment upfront. And then there was the third option, the one right in the middle, where your eyes naturally land. This is exactly what outlets like Pixel recently called a deceptive subscription model. It looks like a monthly payment, but it's actually a hidden one-year contract. Monthly payments and a much lower price. It sounds great, but it's not actually a monthly plan. The official name is Annual Plan Paid Monthly. Without even realizing it, you're locked into a one-year contract, a financial swamp that drains your bank account every single month. But the real nightmare begins the moment you try to leave. If you want to cancel, Adobe charges you 50% of your remaining contract as a termination fee. They demand half of the money for a service you no longer want to use. Outlets like The Verge have covered this mess, with headlines stating Adobe's subscription cancellation fee is once again making people mad. And then there's the auto renewal system. Most services let you turn off auto renew so it ends cleanly, but Adobe, they don't even have that button. You're forced to cancel the entire plan, which triggers those massive fees. Reddit and Adobe forums are filled with pure rage. Users say things like, "I tried to cancel every month, but they kept taking my money." Or, "They doubled my price without warning and then slapped me with a $200 exit fee." While Adobe builds its wealth this way, I spend about 9 hours a day creating these videos. But as you can see, I've had 0 revenue for 2 months now. Right now, this channel has 202 subscribers. If you subscribe today, you can be part of this journey from the very beginning. For many, the only way out is to literally cancel their credit cards. Even after cancellation, reports of Adobe charging extra fees are common. Customers hate it But in the professional world, there's no escape. In design, everyone demands the Adobe standard. This tragic situation leads to a strange twist regarding CEO Shantanu Narayan. While customers suffer, his ratings on Comparably are shocking. He is consistently ranked as a top CEO, holding an A+ grade and staying in the top 3 even in 2025. He may have set a trap for customers, but he took great care of his shareholders and employees. But can a strategy built on squeezing customers last forever? Despite the backlash, Adobe remained the undisputed king of the industry. It's this rock-solid monopoly that allows them to pull in more cash today than ever before. But money wasn't everything. Frustration with their tactics was quietly building, eventually catching the attention of government regulators. Meanwhile, Adobe had a massive problem to solve. They were preparing a multi-billion-dollar gamble to keep their monopoly alive. On September 15th, 2022, Adobe announced it was acquiring Figma for a staggering $20 billion. Why Figma? Because Figma had exactly what Adobe lacked. It was lightweight, built for real-time collaboration, and ran perfectly in a browser without any installation. Most importantly, compared to Adobe's oppressive fees, Figma's free tier was incredibly generous. It was the first real threat to Adobe's dominance in years. Users were terrified. They remembered exactly what happened to the tools Adobe bought in the past. Back in 2005, Adobe acquired Freehand, a powerful rival to Illustrator. What did they do? They slowly killed it off. Adobe's response to the angry fans was basically, "We know you're loyal, but please move to Illustrator now." Figma fans feared history would repeat itself, but this time, things didn't go according to plan. Because of the massive $20 billion price tag, regulators in the US and Europe stepped in with microscopes. The UK government officially warned that the Adobe and Figma merger could harm UK digital designers, stifling competition and innovation. Finally, on December 18th and 2023, Adobe gave up. CNBC reported the news with the headline, Adobe and Figma call off $20 billion merger. But the real sting was the reverse breakup fee. Adobe was forced to pay Figma $1 billion in cash just for walking away. Think about the irony. A company that makes a fortune by squeezing cancellation fees out of its users was now forced to pay the ultimate cancellation fee. Even worse, they had just handed a $1 billion war chest directly to their biggest competitor. But the nightmare was just beginning. As soon as the deal collapsed, the government turned its sights toward Adobe's core business, those predatory subscription fees. In the midst of the Figma chaos, the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, struck a decisive blow. Reuters broke the news with a staggering headline: US FTC sues Adobe for hiding fees, making it difficult to cancel. The government alleged that Adobe lured users into annual plans without clearly disclosing the massive termination fees hidden behind the curtain. The details were damning. The FTC pointed out that warnings about these fees were buried in tiny text, often visible only if a user hovered their mouse over a specific icon. Adobe knew their customers were suffering in this trap, yet they kept the deceptive design running to protect their bottom line. After years of legal battles, Adobe finally blinked. The Verge reported the settlement under the title, Adobe to pay $150 million to settle FTC lawsuit over subscription cancellations. It was a record-breaking settlement. Adobe agreed to pay a $75 million fine and allocate another $75 million for free services to affected customers. They also promised to make their subscription terms transparent. But in classic corporate fashion, Adobe refused to admit any legal wrongdoing. The fallout was immediate. Shantanu Narayan, the CEO who led Adobe's subscription revolution for 18 years, announced his resignation. Bloomberg made it official. Adobe CEO Shantanu Narayan to step down after 18-year tenure. The man who turned Adobe into a recurring revenue machine was finally stepping off the stage. So, is Adobe's reign over? Not quite. Despite the fines and the leadership shakeup, the money machine is still humming. In the first quarter of fiscal year 2026, Adobe reported revenue of $6.4 billion, up 12% from the previous year. With an operating profit of $2.42 billion, their financial dominance remains unshaken. The monopoly has survived the storm, for now. Look at this. Adobe is making more money than ever, yet their stock price keeps sliding. It's currently at an 8-year low. They are no longer a $100 billion company. The revenue is up, the profit is up. But investors are becoming less and less willing to pay for that profit. What is going on? Is it the lawsuits? Is it the failed Figma deal? Partially yes, but there's another reason. Ironically, one of Adobe's biggest bets is exactly what investors are worried about. Adobe has two main cash cows. First is digital media, which includes Creative Cloud apps and Acrobat. PDF is everywhere, and this business isn't going anywhere. In the first quarter of fiscal year 2026, digital media brought in $4.84 billion, an increase from the previous year. The second is digital experience, their marketing and enterprise segment. Adobe is making more money in more places than ever before. So why is the stock still falling? Losing Figma was a blow that a $1 billion fee can't fully explain. That deal was their move into a territory they hadn't conquered yet. But there's a much bigger problem than Figma. It's AI. In March 2023, Adobe launched Adobe Firefly, their family of generative AI models. Adobe officially announced that Firefly has been used to generate 13 billion images since March 2023. They even built a monetization structure around it. In other words, Adobe shifted its business model from selling software to selling AI outputs. This might sound good, but it was a massive problem. TrustLab covered the fallout in an article titled Lessons from Adobe's Updated Terms of Use Controversy. Allegations that Adobe forced users to hand over their work as training data, along with demands for rights to local content, sparked a fierce backlash. In the end, the very AI and data policies Adobe chose to maintain its monopoly became a boomerang, destroying their most valuable asset, the trust of their users. For more on where this story goes next, check out the video on your screen right now. I'll see you in the next one.